Good Monday evening and welcome to the NCWLIFE Evening News. I'm Grant Olson. Before we get to today's top news stories, let's take a quick look outside our weather window, and it's an obscured, cloudy weather window today. Look at those beautiful fall colors, though, down as we look down at our neighbors in Kashmir and Highway 2 from our Sky-Fi tower camera, and lots of clouds out there, low-hanging clouds, showers around, and that will continue into our evening hours. Temperatures were very chilly today, and this pattern, we have to at least expect it today, and then once again for part of Tuesday, but we will see unsettled weather into our evening hours. Not going to see a whole lot of precipitation out of this, though. Most of the heavier rain will stay to our west, maybe a tenth to a quarter of an inch. I still think that's probably on the high side for the Wenatchee area. One thing we will see tomorrow as this storm system moves to the south, and that's windy conditions. Peak wind gusts tomorrow around 28 miles an hour in Wenatchee. Ellensburg, as usual, the strongest winds at 32, and plenty of wind around the west of Washington State. We'll talk more weather coming up a little bit later on in your weather forecast. And now a few of the stories we're following for you tonight. Grant County deputies are seeking the driver and occupants of a pickup connected to a shooting over the weekend. North Central Washington could benefit from the latest legal settlement in the opioid crisis. And if you joined the U.S. Concealed Carry Association within the last year, you were probably sold illegal insurance in the process. But first, we begin tonight. 3 Yakima County men were injured in a weekend rollover crash near Pothole State Park. Carl Gilazette's Ford F-150 truck left the road while westbound on State Route 262 on Saturday afternoon. The Washington State Patrol said he and 2 passengers were towing a boat trailer at the time. All 3 men were taken to Samaritan Hospital for checkouts and treatment. Gilazette, who's 56, faces a charge of DUI. Grant County deputies are seeking the driver and occupants of this full-size GMC 4-door pickup connected to a shooting that happened around noon Sunday at the 9400 block of Maple Drive near Moses Lake. The targeted person was working on a car in the driveway. The suspect exited the vehicle and fired at that target person but missed. The shooter then got into the pickup and left the scene. Fortunately, the intended target was not injured, but unfortunately, that same target was uncooperative. North Central Washington could benefit from the latest legal settlement in the opioid crisis. 4 drug companies agreed today to settle a federal lawsuit brought by 2 Ohio counties for their part in distributing opioid painkillers that led to a wave of addiction and more than 47,000 deaths in 2017 alone. Those cases are related to a suit filed by Chelan County last year. Daniel Mencher is a Seattle attorney representing the county as well as other communities around Washington.
Direct answer to your question is, does this affect Chelan? No, because it wasn't one of the bellwether cases. So its claims remain unresolved. That doesn't mean that this is irrelevant for Chelan County or any of the other counties in the state of Washington or in the Northwest. In fact, this, I think, is a really good sign. We feel very good that this is a good step forward toward reaching a global resolution. In some ways, the sort of the moral side of in my opinion anyway, the moral issues here are really straightforward. We have some defendants who engaged in some really horrendous activities and profited incredibly handsomely from it. But unfortunately, the litigation like this is very complicated. I hope that we are on the verge of really resolving all of these things.
Well, if you joined the U.S. Concealed Gun Carry Association in the last year, you were probably sold illegal insurance in the process. The state insurance commissioner says the association bundled insurance into its membership that offered to cover legal costs if a member was charged with the crime for use of a firearm. But Washington law doesn't allow the sale of insurance against intentional criminal activity. USCCA sold the insurance to 1,600 members last year. It must now pay a $100,000 fine and never offer the insurance again if it wants to keep doing business in Washington state. Well, a small early morning fire in a component at Priest Rapids Dam remains under investigation. The blaze broke out shortly after 1 a.m. this morning in an Exeter. It's a piece of equipment that provides startup energy to one of the dam's generating units. The Grant County PUD says operators quickly extinguished the fire, which was similar to a fire that broke out in another exciter unit October 3rd. Dam technicians have increased their monitoring and reduced the number of startup cycles while the investigation takes place. The PUD says power generation and water flow are not affected. Well, coming up next on October 1st, the Wenatchee School District welcomed a second resource officer to its halls. We'll introduce you to him. Fourth graders in Wenatchee learned a productive way to use their computer screen time. And as part of the consolidation of the Chelan and Douglas County Port Districts, Pangbourne Airport will be legally dissolved. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News.
Some jobs are a calling. They call on something higher, something deeper, and a commitment to country that never dies. At Gisa Credit Union, we help you support local veterans. With every purchase you make with a Gisa Local Heroes Affinity debit card, we make a donation to select veterans organizations. After all, we can never repay them, but we can do our best to help a little with the Gisa Veterans Affinity debit card.
AC Checker has new owners who put customer service first. When you have to get there on time, call fast, friendly, reliable AC Checker, 663-TAXI. AC Checker has the industry's only on-time or it's free guarantee. Conditions apply. Call AC Checker, 663-TAXI to schedule your cab or schedule online at acchecker.com. Call American Classic Taxi, 663-TAXI. That's 663-8294.
It's estimated that 1/3 of Americans do not have a financial plan. At D.A. Davidson, their advisors are working to change that because they understand the importance of planning for the future. At D.A. Davidson, they believe in partnering together to build a strategy tailored to your needs. They spend the time and have the knowledge to help keep your financial future on track. Let D.A. Davidson Financial Advisors of Wenatchee put the strength of advice to work for you.
Welcome back. In other news, on October 1st, the Wenatchee School District welcomed a second resource officer to its halls, Officer Jared Shepard from the Wenatchee Police Department. Officer Shepard joined Officer Jared Reinfeld, a resource officer since 2017, on this morning's Street Talk and Other Stuff with Mike Magnotti.
Two for a few years, and then it went down to one, and then it stayed one for a while, and then we had a gap from about, I think, 2008 when things kind of crashed, where we didn't have anybody for a while. Yeah. And then we picked one up and we rode with one for a few years, and luckily we're back up to two now.
You're predominantly in the middle schools, right? Or is there any crossover, or what's the workload plan?
I think we can. Yeah. I mean,
Jared and I have been talking about it. We think the intention of hiring a second school resource officer is to get more presence in the middle schools.
Okay.
And I think, as well, we think that the intention was to just get more officer presence in the schools. So having two, like Jared had talked about earlier, is going to give us both the opportunity to get into the schools more frequently, and not just for police-related issues. We're going to split it up. We're each going to do some time in the high schools and the middle schools. We kind of divided up the elementary schools a little bit. And so we're going to, work kind of where we are right now and then flip-flop at the end of the calendar year, beginning of 2020.
Okay.
Fourth graders in Wenatchee learned a productive way to use their computer screen time recently during a visit from a Forest Service official. Fire prevention technician Jessica Gilmore visited Washington and John Newberry Elementary Schools to talk about fire safety and the Every Kid Outdoors program. It's a pilot project to see if she can bring the outdoors indoors, Gilmore said. The students were shown a variety of websites where they can learn more about forest health and play online games set up by the Forest Service. They also were given a free forest access pass. Next up for the visits will be Lewis and Clark Elementary this month, and then Mission View Elementary in November. Pangbourne Memorial Airport will briefly cease to exist. As part of the consolidation of the Chelan and Douglas County Port Districts, the airport will be legally dissolved as an entity so the new port organization can take charge. The airport isn't going anywhere, though. Douglas County Port Director Lisa Park says it's just a legal technicality that has to happen as part of the transition. The airport's executive board is scheduled to vote on this dissolution tomorrow at their meeting. You're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News. Coming up next, tonight's feature story and your complete local weather forecast. That and much more still to come on the NCWLIFE Evening News. Stay with us.
If you want to work in IT, here's a tip. Employers value IT certifications. 91% say they play a key role in hiring. 72% require them for certain job openings. Improve your odds of getting the job. Enroll in the Computer Networking Systems program at Charter College. In 14 months, you could earn an associate degree and 6 IT certifications. Get started at chartercollegeIT.com, where we work to get you to work.
People are really skeptical of our industry. They have been sold products, they have been sold policies they either don't need, don't understand, confusing. I understand that. We are more about the process and the people. Our SFG roadmap is designed to take care of all of those concerns. For those that have questions about their retirement, we would love the opportunity to sit down and chat with you.
Hi, I'm Ricardo, and this is Amanda, and we are from Impact Auto Sales,
where you can expect a hassle-free car buying experience. With our wide selection of used cars, trucks, and SUVs, let one of our friendly sales staff help you find the vehicle that fits your lifestyle. We have financing available for all credit types and great low rates for first-time buyers. Call us today at 888-8000 or stop by 3522 State Highway 97A in Wenatchee. Impact Auto Sales, where we strive to make an impact on your life and not your wallet.
Welcome back to the NCWLIFE Evening News. Like many cities and towns around Washington State, Chelan also has an issue with the lack of affordable housing, made even worse by the fact that Chelan is also a desirable destination, meaning more people want to live there. In tonight's feature story, NCWLIFE News recently sat down with Chelan Mayor Mike Cooney, who said the city is trying to be proactive when it comes to attainable housing.
Outside of our city roles, we formed this housing trust, and the purpose of it was to address a critical need in our town to get homes that people can afford to buy. A lot of people don't like the term affordable housing, so we use the term attainable housing. They're interchangeable. Basically what it is they are homes that we are getting built through community effort. It is a true grassroots community effort of land donation, capital donations, and we're going to start our first project in the spring, and we're really excited about it. It's a block behind City Hall. There's going to be 5 homes built. They're going to sell at $200,000. And so you contrast that with in City of Chelan, it's really hard to find anything $350,000 or below. Your median house price in Chelan is like $475,000. So the average median income per household is about $52,000. So those numbers just don't jive. It's hard to tell somebody to jump higher to get a house. And I think we're slowly whittling away at this kind of misnomer that we're building affordable homes as some type of socialistic type of thing. We see it as a purely capitalistic thing as far as keeping your workforce, a stable workforce in town. There's a lot of people, there's about 40 families move each year out of our town because they can't afford to stay in town.
Time now for a check of your North Central Washington weather forecast. Before we get to those details, Check it out outside our weather window today. Getting a little bit foggy out there. It was this afternoon throughout much of north central Washington. Storm system, what is it, number 3 now, moving in on us. We had a couple over the weekend. And by the way, we broke a record over the weekend. We'll talk about that in a second. But look at the beautiful colors along Highway 2. Cashmere looking beautiful. But yes, rain showers are likely, especially before about midnight tonight. As far as high temperatures go, boy, it just did not get warm today. 51, our unofficial high temperature, and that was around noon today. The afternoon just stayed awfully chilly. 58 is our normal high temperature. 38 our low this morning. 39 is where we should be, so right in the ballpark there. 71, our record in 1972, high that is. Record low 27. That was set back in 1984. This is the part I want to get to. Precipitation. This is over the weekend. We picked up 0.3 of an inch of precipitation on Saturday alone, and that broke an old record going back to 1970s of about 0.15 of an inch. So it was a record-setting Saturday morning with all that rain. We picked up 0.3 of an inch then yesterday to get us now to 6.37 for the year. 728 was our sunrise this morning. Boy, it's Monday today, isn't it? Sunset tonight will be at 6:02. Now let's take a look at how your Tuesday will shape up. It will be much drier than today, and one thing you will notice is you see the temperatures much warmer temperatures. Look at this, 66 for Moses Lake tomorrow, 65 in Ephrata, 63 in Wenatchee, and 62 for Cashmere high temperatures, 61 in Chelan, and 61 as well up in Omak. Unfortunately, we're going to have to put up with lots of wind. Let's get to that surface loop, and we'll show you that here in a second. Tonight, rain likely before midnight, as I mentioned. It's all this band of showers right now that's beginning to slide into north central Washington. We will see that continue through our evening hours and then dissipate, as I mentioned, late tonight into our early morning hours of Tuesday. And then for the rest of Tuesday, we're going to clear out pretty nicely, but it will become windy, 15 to 25 miles an hour, especially in the afternoon, all throughout north central and northern Washington. Those are winds, gusts, as I mentioned, between 15 and 25 with gusts around 30. For Wednesday, just a nice day. Get out there and enjoy it if you can. Mostly sunny for Washington State. Remember these yellowish and yellowish green colors. That means upper 50s to lower 60s, and that's what we'll enjoy both Wednesday and into Thursday. For Friday, more of the same too. Mostly sunny and mild as we get into your Friday. The only difference is that late in the day into our evening hours, we could see an isolated rain shower, but look at this, temperatures well into the 60s for parts of southeast Washington, but there's why we could see some rain. It's all because of this frontal boundary that's coming through Washington, so keep that in mind for Friday night. By the time we get into the weekend on Saturday, we will see mostly sunny skies, but notice our arrows of wind coming down from the northwest, and that will mean much cooler temperatures funneling down into Washington State, not only for Saturday, but we're going to see some pretty cool temperatures for Sunday as well. Lots of sunshine, but look back to our east. Almost all of Montana inundated with high temperatures only in the 30s. We won't be that cold, but it will be quite a bit cooler. Let's take a look now at your quick lube and tune 7-day forecast. A mild overnight expected tonight of 46 degrees. And then look at this warm up. 62 on Tuesday. Windy conditions. Keep that in mind tomorrow. Mostly sunny to sunny skies then from Wednesday all the way through Sunday. High temperatures in the low to mid 60s Wednesday through Friday. And then those cooler temperatures on Saturday and Sunday with highs then in the lower to mid 50s. And that's a look at your local weather forecast. Coming up next, tonight's sports report with Eric Granstrom and more as the NCWLIFE Evening News continues right after this.
Coming home should never be a chore. Let Mary Maids of Wenatchee customize all your cleaning needs. Weekly, bi-weekly, special occasion. Do you have a vacation home that needs cleaning? We clean them too. Locally owned and operated, let Mary Maids do the cleaning while you focus on your family and friends. Mary Maids has special offers to fit your budget. Request your free cleaning estimate today. 509-663-1710.
I'm Tom from Alpine Air Heating and Cooling. At Alpine Air, we think of ourselves as customer service-oriented retailers. When you make an appointment, please visit our store, meet our people, see our shop. We are serious about heating and air conditioning. Carrier and Alpine Air are offering huge factory rebates and financing options for all your needs. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Alpine Air. Call for your free replacement estimate. Heat and air, call Alpine Air, 662-6846.
At some point, we realized that value and practicality go hand in hand. A time when an unnoticed accumulation of items has become burdensome. These possessions still have value, but now lack usefulness. Donate your unwanted items to Goodwill and become a job creator. Your donations allow Goodwill to provide much-needed training to job seekers in our community, and that's pretty useful for everyone. Be a job creator. Donate. Goodwill. There's more behind the store.
And now it's a sports update on the NCWLIFE channel.
And a happy Monday for you, not for Seahawks fans. Baltimore scored 2 defensive touchdowns. Lamar Jackson combined for 259 yards rushing and passing. Ravens beat the Seahawks 30-16 Sunday. Marcus Peters intercepted Russell Wilson for the first time this season, returned at 67 yards for his second quarter touchdown. Then in the fourth quarter, Marlon Humphrey scooped up a DK Metcalf fumble and returned it 18 yards for a score. Wilson finished the game 20 of 41 for 241 yards, a touchdown and a pick. Quarterback rating just 65.2. Jackson, meanwhile, worth the price of admission, turned in one stellar running play after another. He rushed for 116, threw for 143. Baltimore 5-2. Seattle fell to 5-2. They'll be in Atlanta on Sunday. Turning to Saturday's Les Schwab College Football Scoreboard. Oregon rallied from a 14-point deficit at half to beat Washington 35-31 Saturday in Seattle. Also on Saturday, Washington State's Max Borghi rushed for 105 yards and a score. Cougars beat Colorado 41-10. Western Oregon's two-point conversion attempt to win it in overtime failed. Central Washington came away with a 42-41 victory on Saturday. And the Wenatchee Wild won 2 of 3 games over the weekend in BCHL play. On Friday, Alberni Valley outscored Wenatchee 3-2, and the second period went on for a 5-3 victory, scoring goals for the Wild Tyler Young, Ethan Walters, and Matt Dorsey. Wenatchee had a better luck the next night, exploding for 7 goals and a 7-3 win at Cowichan Valley. Jack Bayless had 2 tallies. In the first period, Luke Gallagher, Brett Chorsky, Drew Bavaro, and Harrison Scott all scored in the second. Captain Nick Caffarelli finished the scoring in the third. Then on Sunday, Danielle Chenard stopped all 16 shots that came his way. The Wild get their first shutout of the season, 2-0. The Wild back home this week. They've got a Wednesday night game at 6 o'clock in the Town Toyota Center against West Kelowna. Then Salmon Arm in town coming up on Friday and Saturday. The Wenatchee Panthers traveled across the river and beat arch rival Eastmont 3-1 Saturday in Big Nine soccer. Maddie Smith scored the game's first goal in a minute into the second half to give Wenatchee the lead. Eastmont countered on a goal by Megan Chandler in the 44th minute. It was all Panthers from there. Sebastian Moraga and Matt Wisen had the play-by-play. They're joined in the booth by former Wenatchee FC Director of Coaches Neil Oyston, and we had it right here on the NCWLIFE channel.
Sanchez Blanco. Chased by Heimberger, shot across. This could be interesting. Right for the shot. Goal, 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 goal! Maddie Smith for the Wenatchee Panthers.
Solid finish there. I mean, took her time, found a corner, and put it right in there. I'm not sure what the defense was doing there. They were really uncommittal.
Nipfer off to the races now. Let's see who gets there first. Nice ball. Go, 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 go. Megan Chandler with a beauty of a touch, ladies and gentlemen. We're tied at 1.
I mean, what about that finish from Megan Chandler? Oh, you know, just the composure to see the goalkeeper coming out like that and then just to dink the ball over the top of the goalkeeper's head. What a great finish there from Megan Chandler.
Trying to get a shot across. Just by the marker. Go, 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 go! Yareli Sanchez Blanco for the Wenatchee Panthers.
Yeah,
63-14.
Great finish there. A good ball in. Just can't let those balls hit the ground that close in front of your goal.
Eckert, top of the ball.
Whoa,
go, 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 go! Maddie Smith, second personal tally, and Wenatchee starts to run away with this one.
Pick that one out. What an absolute cracking strike there from Matty Smith. Top corner.
Bowman.
That's it.
And there's the whistle. Let's just make sure this time. Yes, it is. That tells us that Wenatchee traveled across the river to take this one from their arch rivals by a score of 3-1.
Wenatchee and Eastmont now tied atop the Big Nine standings at 7-2 with 2 weeks left to play until the playoffs. Also Saturday, Moses Lake blanked Eisenhower 6-0 to remain within distance of Wenatchee and Eastmont. They're 6-2. Also, Ephrata beat Othello 6-2. Turning back the pages to Friday night in the Les Schwab Prep football scoreboard, the game of the week in the Big Nine turned out to be just exactly that. Sunnyside came out from behind to beat Eastmont 29-28. Here you see the final few minutes as Sunnyside's Giovanni Macias connects on a 26-yard field goal with 2:34 left. It's good. Grizzlies lead at 29-28. Eastmont goes down the field, gets in position for a possible game winner at 29 yards. Oh, Oscar Mego's foot slips. He falls to the turf in an attempt, and Sunnyside escapes with the 1-point victory. So handing Eastmont their first loss of the season. Meanwhile, here on the NCWLIFE channel Friday, Wenatchee Panthers celebrated senior night with a big 48-14 win over the Davis Pirates. We had the call right here on the NCWLIFE channel.
Panthers first down and 10 at the 10. I think it's first and goal. Here's Sermon. He's going to run into the end zone untouched. No flags down. Touchdown, Panthers. Now they got Coons in the backfield. I formation. Coons the fullback. He's going to lead the way for Blauman into the end zone. Touchdown, Panthers. There's Reyes. Handoff. It's a fake. Blitz up the middle. Forces Reyes to the left side. Passes, and it's picked off by the Panthers. Back to pass, has plenty of time, this time under some pressure now. Floats one over the middle, a dangerous pass, a Mezqua. 2nd and 15 now with that loss. Here's Sermon over the middle, wide open, it's Coons. Drags a player into the end zone. Touchdown, Panthers. Fake this time. Sermon's rolling to his right. Does he have enough room? And he does! That's Camden Lloydhammer over there. Blauman behind him this time in shotgun. Sermon will throw it. Left side, it's Jelsing at the 12-yard line. Jukes and jives. He gets away from his players and runs into the end zone. Touchdown! Jelsing, 13 yards. Blauman this time to his right. Will hand it to Blauman as Blauman comes left side. Nice block. Blauman all the way down into the end zone. Touchdown! In the backfield, Reyes is just going to air it out, and it's right into the hands of Mezqua. The interception, 30, pitches it, no he doesn't, almost lost the ball, it goes out of bounds. Handoff up the middle.
They gave that to a lineman.
I thought it was number 70.
Cameron McKenzie.
And he scores 1 yard out. How about that?
How about it?
Reyes still on his feet, right side, and he runs out of bounds. It's not going to help you, though, bud, as the time runs out, and that is our ball game.
Also on Friday, Moses Lake was shut out by West Valley 51-0. Turning to the Caribou Trail League, Kashmir able to outlast Okanagan 21-20. Omak crushed Reardon 50-0, and Chelan surprised Cascade in overtime 13-7. In the CWAC Friday, Ephrata topped Sela 30-20. Ellensburg took over first place with a 17-7 win over Othello. Quincy fell to East Valley 31-7. And in B-League play, winners on Friday, Davenport, Lake Roosevelt, Manson, and ACH. That's sports. Grant, back to you.
Now let's check in with Dan Kuntz for a look at what's coming up tomorrow morning on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Dan?
Thank you very much, Grant. Great Tuesday show coming your way. You want to join us? We are continuing our series of profiling Make a Difference Day projects leading up to Make a Difference Day proper, which is this Saturday. The YMCA camp on the north shore of Lake Wenatchee needs to be winterized and cleaned up, and Camp Zanikalachi on the south shore of Lake Wenatchee needs to be cleaned up. We'll talk about those two projects tomorrow, plus your chance to win tickets to see Jason Lyle Black tomorrow night at the Wenatchee High School Auditorium. Start your day with Wake Up Wenatchee Valley live tomorrow at 7 a.m. Back to you, Grant.
And that's going to do it for our newscast tonight. For more on these stories and other news from around North Central Washington, you can find us on Facebook or our website at ncwlife.com. And remember, if you see news happening, we'd like to hear from you. You can send us an email at news@ncwlife.com or give us a call at 888-6295. I'm Grant Olson. Thanks for joining us, and have a great weekend. Have a great night.
NCW Life Channel is your home for local news, local weather, and events including live local high school sports. Watch inspiring local shows featuring local people. Don't miss Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Let's learn. Guada TV. Street Talk and Other Stuff. The 12th District. Life with Lisa. And the Arbiter of Stoke. NCW Life Channel is your local TV station.
Hey there, Wenatchee. I'm Sean Lee, and I'm inviting you to check out the NCW Movie Guide to keep up on what movies are playing in our town.